The story I want to tell you today may seem a little long, but it's worth hearing, so please stick with me to the end. I was with my sister and we were getting on a shuttle at New York City Airport to head for the pier where we were going to board the Queen Elizabeth II for a cruise from New York to England. Now, when we got on the shuttle, there was a couple there from Ohio, and he was a very friendly fellow, and he was quick to introduce himself. And when we got to the pier, he could see that my sister and I were a little skittish, and we weren't sure where to go, what to do. And he said, "Stick with us. We've done this before. We'll show you what to do." And you better believe we stuck to him like glue until we got on the ship and got settled in our own cabin. And we were taking a 5-night cruise to England. We saw each other in the afternoons. After dinner, we would get together for the dancing and the shows in the Grand Lounge. Well, one evening, my sister and I were leaving our restaurant. We started down the stairs, and sitting on a sofa was our friend Benjamin and his wife. He was all dressed in his black tuxedo. She had on a pretty shimmery pink dress, and behind them was the huge tapestry of Queen Elizabeth christening the QE2. So when he saw us, and of course he spotted my camera, which I always had with me, and he said, "Here, I want to take pictures of you beautiful girl coming down the stairs." So he did that, and when he finished, I said, "Give me the camera. I want to film you, and I want you to tell me about yourself. But first, I want you to tell me about Paul Newman." I already knew that he'd gone to college with Paul Newman, and they were in drama together. As he said, he was in the plays. Paul Newman was always the star, and they were very good friends. So he went on to tell some of the things that they did together. And I said, "Well, now I want you to tell me about yourself." So he said, "Okay. When I was 2.5 years old, I lived in Philadelphia, and my mother would take me to New York City to see all of the Broadway shows. And I saw every Broadway show in New York until I graduated from college. Then after I graduated from college, I went on to Wall Street to work. And in between, he told funny little stories of things that happened and about his life and his family. And so we went on to London. After our land tour, we got back on the ship, and we were together again for another 5 nights. So when we reached New York City, we parted ways, but we kept in contact after that and became very good friends. And it was about 2.5 years later, one night, his wife called me. She said, "Benjamin has passed away. He had an aneurysm." Well, they were not going to have funeral services, and the two of them both had taught at the community college, which consisted of about 22,000 students, and the college wanted to do a memorial service for Benjamin. Well, Sandy wasn't quite up to that because she was so in such trauma, and she told me, she said, "I don't think I can do it." Well, she began gathering up material from his past, his accomplishments, photographs, things that he had done. And she said, "I don't believe I can hold up to talk at the ceremony." Well, there were going to be several hundred people there, including students and faculty. So Sandy said a few words, and then all around the room were monitors. There were about 5 huge TV monitors. And she stopped and she said, I'm going to let Benjamin tell you about his life. The monitors came on, and there sat Benjamin on the sofa, dressed to the nines in his black tuxedo, and Sandy sitting beside him in her pretty pink dress. And he began, when I was 2.5 years old, I lived in Philadelphia, and my mother would take me to New York City to see all of the Broadway shows. Now, the audience, the people, were in awe when they were watching Benjamin telling his entire life story. You may not agree with me when I say this, but I believe some things happen for a reason and were meant to happen. I believe that when I walked down those stairs on that ship with that camera in my hand and said, I want to film you telling your story, and Benjamin began with his life story at the age of 2.5 years old, I believe that was meant to happen. That's my story for today.